Hello everyone, welcome back. So, as you are probably aware, Hoyoverse just recently dropped the trailer for patch 4.6, and it has a number of quite interesting things that caught my attention. So, without further ado, let us react to it. Oh, and quick disclaimer before we get into it. Hoyoverse, the way they do these trailers is they're usually going to have a number of voice lines that are in complete out of sync with the scenes that are being shown. So obviously, if those are confusing, that's going to be the reason for as to why. But yeah, we're going to find a way to get around that. Let's get into it. All right, let's hope it's good.
On occasion, we hold barbecue dinners at the house. They hunt for food, compete with each other, even cooperate. They enjoy participating in activities like that.
So the first thing that I do want to point out is notice what's happening with Arlecchino.
Dinners at the house. They hunt for food,
Look at her
compete
chair.
with each other, even cooperate. They enjoy participating in activities like that.
You see this? You see how she's glitching? This is an interesting telltale. So do I explain this or do people know this? Let's explain it very quickly. There is a new book that came out called Perinheri, which discusses the Connery and Crimson Moon dynasty and how those guys used to bring children from worlds that have been destroyed. If Arlecchino is one of those children, which she has all the hallmarks of one of those children, as you're going to see later, then her glitching in and out of reality could be an indicator that either she has a body which is outlandish or she is an outlander herself. What's the distinction between the two? We're going to get into it later. But yeah, there is something that is not normal going on with Arlecchino, especially with her powers, well, her body specifically.
And the feeling is mutual. After all, it's always possible certain familiar faces.
Wait, what? What? Is this the... No, it's not the narwhal. The narwhal is very different. What's going on here? Hold on.
They enjoy participating in is mutual. After all,
So this is underwater. I'm assuming it's the new area, probably Remuria. Okay.
it's always possible certain familiar faces
What the hell is this?
will be missing from the crowd.
Okay, so it is Remuria. This is 100% Remuria because we see the music and Remus was called the player of the Grand Symphony. And also lots of gold. And Remus had the golden ichor. And he was kind of obsessed with gold. But what is this creature? Huh. Scylla? Whoa. Oh shit, wait. If this is Scylla, then we are in. Hold up, is this Scylla? Hold up. Wait. Could it be? The problem is it looks like a fish. It's way too not undraconic. Is this Scylla?
Faces will be missing.
Hold up. Okay, this is a 50, it's not even a 50-50, this is like a 90-10. But if this is Scylla, then my next video is going to be the shit! Because here's the thing, the video I am working on right now about Zhongli, and about the dragons in general, we are discussing something heavily related to this. So if this fish, or this, I suppose, dragon, if it is Scylla, for those of you who don't know, Scylla is a dragon that fought Remus, thousands of years ago before the fall of Remuria. In fact, not long before the fall of Remuria. And Scylla eventually lost. Actually, he fought Remus multiple times. He fought Remus once at the very foundation of Remuria and then once before it fell. But at any rate, if this is actually Scylla, this fish, or this fish-looking dragon, emphasis on the word fish-looking dragon, then my next video is going to be the shit. Also, actually, oh my god, also this I suppose not confirms, but supports another theory I did about Kapatsir, where I suggested that, said that Kapatsir might be the Electro Dragon, but the problem is I was not sure of whether she is or she is not, because Kapatsir barely looks like a dragon. She's basically a bird. Her entire appearance is that of a hawk. However, if this qualifies as a dragon, the issue here is the word qualifies. If this is actually Scylla, and again, like I said, the main word is qualifies. If this qualifies as a dragon, then my next video, and the one I made about Kapatsir, they're gonna have a lot of context behind them now.
Will be missing from the crowd the next time a similar event rolls around.
Something has come up, and since it pertains to Cyrus and Cyno, I deemed it essential to inform you all.
So this is Alhaitham talking. I think most of you know, the vast majority, but just in case.
It was great.
And the reason Alhaitham is talking is because Alhaitham now, well, he always worked for the academia, but now he has a much more prestigious position. I believe last time we met him, he was the, I don't know, what's Jean's title? She is the acting grandmaster. He was the acting scribe.
Plan shrouded in
Well, sorry, not acting scribe, acting, what's it called? Grand sage, or whatever garbage.
secrecy.
We all gathered around and celebrated the revival of our Lord.
Essential to inform you all.
It was great plan shrouded in secrecy.
Is this Cyrus? Cyrus? It may be Cyrus or a random Eremite. Maybe Cyrus, because this is Cyno we're talking about.
We all gathered around and celebrated the revival.
So the one here is probably a random Eremite, but the old man before him, maybe Silas. And what you see in front of you, if I have to take a guess, which is not a guess, this is the Temple of Silence. Now, if this is the Temple of Silence, I'm about to be very disappointed, but for the love of God, Hoyoverse, please make this in the open world, but it looks like a domain. Yeah, the layout, you can look, you see how the layout has walls surrounding the area? Yeah, this looks like a domain, unfortunate. I wish this was in the open world, it sucks so badly that it's not.
Of our Lord.
That's how I gained my power.
Is this? No, this is Remuria. This is not Sumeru. And that is a statue. We have a chandelier. Anything that I might miss? No. So you can see some musical instruments around. Obviously, all hallmarks of Remus. Because Remus, just like Barbatos, and that's actually very important, we will talk about that in a different video, had a lot to do with music, and music might have a lot to do with preserving life and the history of Tevat in general. Anyway.
The old man's been putting the pressure on me. He sent someone to tell me
Oh wait, it's moving.
I'm needed for...
So this is going to be the next, not weekly boss. Arlecchino is the next weekly boss. Is going to be the next open world boss in Remuria.
some sort of project.
Project Stuja?
Oh, actually, this! Yeah, so this has to be one of those golems. It has to. Otherwise, what would it be? A mechanical creature? It has to be one of those golems that Remus created from his people. This is interesting. Yeah, it has to, because the Golden Trope artifact set talks about how those golems now remain as statues in Remus's palaces. And this is most likely in one of those locations. This is obviously Remuria, which means that this is one of Remus's golems.
Tell me I'm needed for some sort of project.
I think we've got
Project
it.
Stuja?
Participating in the plan.
This is Fontaine, open... Oh, this is Petrichor, I'm assuming. The reason I'm saying it's Petrichor is not only because of the new houses that kind of look like Italy. Yeah, they kind of look like Italian houses, which is nice because Remus is inspired by Rome, and Rome is obviously Italy. But we can also see the other statues of Remus's golems here. These ones are broken. And these are probably not like actual golems, these are probably just statues. And we can see Sumeru in the background. Actually, since we are seeing Sumeru in the background, are we getting all of Sumeru now? Well, not all of Sumeru, all of Northern. All of only Northern Sumeru. We'll still have a lot towards the west and the south. That is currently unreleased.
We'll lose a lot of...
Ooh, this is nice. So, one interesting thing is that it seems that Remuria used to have these aqueducts that are built in Fontaine that transport us using the aquabuses. And it looks like this design has been inspired by the architecture of Remuria. Yeah, obviously it is. Yeah, it shows how history repeats itself. Also, the Narcissus Kreuz Ordo talks about how...
members in the process.
I did not anticipate we would meet again after.
The Narcissus Kreuz Ordo talks about how there have been 4 cycles in Genshin. They call them the Hyperborea, Natlantine, Remuria, and Crown Aria. They are inspired by the Theosophy. Now, I really do not like Theosophy. I already said this many times in my previous videos. It's a completely garbage ideology for many, many reasons. But in terms of Genshin Impact, it fits. Once again, really garbage ideology. It hurts me to say this, but it does fit in Genshin Impact because Lemuria translates to Remuria, and Atlantine, it translates to Natlantine. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that considering how similar Remuria is to Fontaine in terms of architectural design, what's happening is probably, and this is something that I've been suspecting for a very long time. Let's go back to Remuria very quickly.
We'll lose a lot of...
What I am suspecting is that history is repeating itself more than we might think right now. And what I mean by that is that Remuria's destiny is exactly Fontaine's destiny. And the destiny of old Mondstadt is exactly going to be the destiny of the new Mondstadt. And the destiny of ancient Liyue with the Gweli Plains is going to be the destiny of modern Liyue. And those old destroyed remnants of the ancient societies are essentially warnings and I suppose skeletons of the previous ones that got destroyed. This is reminiscent of the Angel's Egg. For those of you who have seen my recent theory on that, or I suppose the 1 hour and 20 minutes long movie, where the little girl takes the boy through the halls of the deceased lizards and sea monsters, and you see their bones and how it appears, or it shows the appearance of what used to be a society of sea creatures that got completely annihilated and replaced. And then the ones that came after them, the humans, also got annihilated. This is what I am picking up here. But let's continue.
Members in the process.
I did not anticipate we would meet again after presenting you with the Gnosis.
If you accept my proposal, monsieur.
This is Scylla. This is Scylla, wait. This is Scylla, because Scylla was sealed after he lost to Remus. And this is Scylla. Yo, my next... all I'm gonna say, I'm not gonna spoil it. My next video is about the Light Realm and about the dragons and about erosion. And oh my god, does this have a lot of implications on my next video. For those of you who are watching this and are gonna be watching my upcoming video about Zhongli, get ready and keep this in mind. Keep this imagery of Scylla, a dragon that does not look like a dragon, but qualifies as a dragon. Qualifies as a dragon. And this is very big.
Never let, unless absolutely necessary.
Because it does tell us what to expect from dragons.
I will no longer carry out any special missions.
Before we talk about Arlecchino, because we're going to talk a lot about Arlecchino, let me say something here.
Unless absolutely necessary.
That was probably world class.
I will no longer carry out any special missions within Fontaine.
So, Arlecchino, this is probably her... Is this Art? No, not Arcane Quest. This is going to be the... This is going to be her own quest. She's going to talk to Neuvillette. Actually, hold up. Didn't they mention Tartaglia earlier?
The old man's been putting the pressure on me. He sent someone to tell me I'm needed for some sort of project.
Okay, so this is it.
Project Stuja?
So, Arlecchino says it is Project Stuja, and Tartaglia says that the old man sent him. So the old man can be two people. If we discount Dottore, if we completely ignore Dottore, the old man could be either Pulcinella or Piero. I am gonna assume it's Pulcinella because it seems that Tartaglia has a lot more connections to Pulcinella, or a much stronger relationship with Pulcinella, not necessarily a good one, than he does with Piero. Also, the gap... well, it doesn't matter. Yeah, so that's what I'm assuming. It's probably Pulcinella, maybe Piero. Anyway, let's get back to Arlecchino. Where is she? Where did we stop? We stopped right over here.
Fontaine.
Oh, also the child shit is probably from Arlecchino's story quest, if I have to guess. And I'm gonna tell you why I'm saying her story quest and not the upcoming World Archon quest, whatever it is. So there is going to be a new boss fight with Arlecchino. It's not gonna be the quest that has Arlecchino's boss fight, the one with Tartaglia, and I'm gonna tell you why. Her animations look good. She uses... what's her weapon? What is her... where's the weapon?
Transfixed!
She's using blood... okay, hold up. Bro, Arlecchino's eyes, whenever I look at them, I can never unsee this. I always see smoked potatoes. Anyway. Ooh, so this is the Crimson... well, actually, no, this is not the Crimson Moon. We already saw the Crimson Moon with Raiden Shogun. But this... this is the Crimson Moon. Look at the circumference. Look at the circumference and then look towards the inside. You can see the texture of the Crimson Moon. Hold on. Fuck. My god. Hoyoverse. Okay, we're not going to be able to see it like this. Anyway, you can see the texture of the Crimson Moon. It's barely visible, but I think if we can get a higher quality image, it's going to be much more... Actually, it's quite visible here. You can see the Crimson Moon. That is the exact same one from Beelzebul's domain. However, what's happening, and this is very interesting, the moon is being covered by the shadow of something else. This is why it's so black. So it looks like a black hole. It looks like a solar eclipse. However, this is the Crimson Moon, and it's being covered by the shadow of another object. Perhaps another planet, perhaps another whatever it is. It doesn't, like, actually it does matter. But this is the, okay, this is cool. Now, what is the shadow covering it? Let me think. It's not going to be the sun, because the sun will not, that's not how it works. Perhaps the Earth, perhaps Tevat. Perhaps it's being covered by the shadow of, well, not the Earth, sorry. The planet of Tevat. The planet that Tevat is on. Yeah. Now, what does this mean? What does it mean when the planet of Tevat is covering the Crimson Moon? Or, I suppose, blocking sunlight from the Crimson Moon? Perhaps this has to do with the ritual? We'll see, we'll see.
Everlasting as the moon!
Also, for those of you who are unaware, this is all from Perinheri. Like this Crimson Moon bullshit. It's a new book in Fontaine.
An order once given cannot be...
Huh? Who? Oh, this is the guy they've been talking about. Okay, okay. Because that's Cyno at the very bottom. I'll tell you who this guy is later.
rescinded.
Do you have any idea what you're doing? You're hiding the very person Father has been trying to find. I really didn't mean to drag...
So this is our conquest, whatever it is. This is going to be the quest where we fight Arlecchino. And this is exactly why Tartaglia is not going to be in this quest, but rather in Arlecchino's story quest, because this quest is clearly centered around Linny, Lynette, and Fremine.
Anyone else into this?
Or Fremine.
Father finds out about this, everyone involved
Temple of Silence. Is this Cyrus? Maybe.
is going to be punished.
A traitor. Cyno was
Okay, so with Cyno...
chosen, but he was not the only one.
You'd like me to return my power?
Traitor. Cyno was chosen, but he was not the only one.
So when they say Cyno was chosen, but he's not the only one, here's my current analysis. Of course, I could be wrong, but this is what immediately comes to my mind. Deshret, if you read the lore of the new weapon, the conversations of the desert sages or whatever it is, the new event weapon from patch 4.5, yeah, from patch 4.5, it says that Al-Ahmar, Amun, used to have 7 sages, and Hermanubis seems to have been one of them. And the power of those sages after Amun died has been is being passed down through various vassals. And Cyno appears to be one of those vassals, specifically the one who inherited the power of Hermanubis, which is why Cyno is so dangerous. Well, not dangerous in a bad way, but rather he is very strong, at least lore-wise. And yeah, that's about really it. And he basically just went through a ritual. Actually, if you think about it...
You'd like me to return my power?
You'd like me to return my power. Huh. If you think about it, Cyno and Arlecchino both seem to have inherited divine authority. She took one from the Crimson Moon, and Cyno took one from Hermanubis. This patch it seems like the theme of patch 4.6 is inheriting divine power. Humans inheriting divine power. Interesting, right? Interesting. And this is probably the most important thing I said in this entire reaction video. It's the theme of patch 4.6 appears to be humans or mortals inheriting divine power. Now, this obviously depends on whether Arlecchino is an Outlander or not, but if she went through the same process that the children in Perinheri went through, where she crawled through a dark chimney to meet the horrified gaze of the Crimson Moon, and then die and be reborn in the fire of the hearth, then yeah, that's very similar to what, well, that's very similar to Perinheri, and that means she inherited divine power from the Crimson Moon.
Power.
I'm really looking forward to this rite of duels.
Okay, so guys, this is going to be Sethos Kaiba. He is the direct rival of Actually, you can see... you can see a bunch of men standing around. You see them? There is one on the throne, and there is one to the top left corner, sorry. Top left corner, there are 2 people. On the throne, there are 2 people, and then there is Sethos Kaiba, and there is Yugi Cyno. So they are obviously preparing to play a duel of TCG. This is trading card. I'm joking. So if you actually want to know what's happening here, it seems that this is the Order of Silence, and these people, I'll tell you exactly what this reminds me of. It reminds me of a scene from Moon Knight, for those of you who have seen Moon Knight, the Marvel series, where the Order of Egyptian Gods, or yeah, that order, sits in front of Khonshu's vassal and judges him. This seems heavily inspired from that. Now, whether it is inspired by Egyptian mythology directly, I'm not sure, but this scene looks very reminiscent because of the men standing around. It looks like Sethos and Cyno are two different people who either inherited, or at least Sethos was supposed to inherit, the power of one of the sages. And they are duking it out, because it looks like they are in disagreement, obviously. Otherwise, why would they be fighting, and why would they ask Cyno to return his power?
The wisdom of her.
This quest is very interesting, by the way. I kid you not, I am more interested in this than I am in Arlecchino. Oh man.
Anubis would have been ours.
Mount Essus, oh Mount Essus, when will you come out? Mount Essus? Look at it. Look at Mount Essus and its glory, it's never coming out. It's never coming out, at least not until we get to Natlan.
I want you to become the next king of the house, yet you seem to have different ideas.
I'm not saying I have all the answers,
Is bro pulling up a Kazuha here? What's going on?
but doing so will only bring us further away from being a real family.
Your words paint an optimistic picture indeed. Allow me to remind you, however, few among us are willing to sip from a glass filled with tainted water.
I'll make sure it's straight.
Actually, Arlecchino is powerful. You can see all of this.
Drained of all impurities and returned to its cleanest form. Good things come to children who do as
Spider webs. Oh, so her design is that she is a angelic spider. That is something I never expected to say in my life. So her wings can retract into spider legs. I forgot the exact terminology. They're not called legs. What's it called? Spider not appendages. Anyway, whatever. Her wings retract into spider legs. There is a more appropriate terminology for that. And you can see spider webs all around. This is very, very reminiscent of Lady Butterfly. For those of you who don't know Lady Butterfly, she is a boss from Sekiro. Very reminiscent of Lady Butterfly. And yeah, and then this is very good design, by the way. I really like this. I really like this. It's a shame that's not what we get in the gameplay. But her spider legs become wings, angelic wings.
they're told, so I do hope you decide to tag along.
There are many dangers ahead, and I, for one, don't intend to back down.
I don't want to disobey an order from Father.
So why? Why have you backed us into a corner?
No.
Wait, she uses double scythes?
Father.
Oh yeah, she uses double scythes. So she is a combination of Lady Butterfly and what's her name? Not Lady Maria. I'm talking about a boss from Dark Souls. Sister Friede from Dark Souls 3, the DLC, Shadows of Arienda. So she's a combination of Lady Butterfly and Sister Friede. Okay, cool.
So why have you backed us into a corner?
No demonstration of loyalty.
And then the angel wings are, I guess, not devil may cry now. But yeah, these wings are very cool. Because the reason they're very cool is not because they're big, it's because they can retract into spider legs, and that allows them to serve a double functionality. And I really like designs like that. A lot. That's very good design. They retract, you get the spider. I love this. Very cool.
Shall go unrewarded, and no sacrifice shall be in vain. Shall go unrewarded.
Do keep in mind, though, that this is an enormous downgrade from the previous boss fight that we, at least in terms of power. In terms of, like, the power of the enemy that we are fighting.
Father.
So why have you...
So many simps are gonna be angry at what I'm gonna say right now. But in terms of the power of the enemy that we are fighting, This is tremendously weaker than the Narwhal. So we are downgrading. Is this the first time we are downgrading? So we first went to Dvalin. Dvalin very strong. Andreas is a god. So Andreas is also very strong, but it's half, not half. It's the soul of a god, what remains of it. So I guess Andreas is not actually the full god that we thought. Okay. After that, we went to Tartaglia. That's the first Harbinger. Cool. I suppose that should be stronger than Andreas, at least in his current state. Obviously, Andreas was a very powerful god, but it doesn't matter. Okay. So Tartaglia, and after Tartaglia, we went to Ajdaha. That's a huge upgrade. Very big upgrade. We're talking about him in my next video. Ajdaha, enormously powerful. Morak said that Ajdaha was on his level, which already that's insane. That's very strong. And then we And then after Ajdaha, we downgraded heavily to what's her name? The red, what's her name? Rosaline Signora. So we downgraded heavily from Ajdaha to Signora, and then we went to the Raiden Shogun, obviously very strong. The Raiden puppet is essentially a god, even though she's not actually a god, she's practically a god, yeah, at least in terms of power. And then after that, we went to Scaramouche, which, again, a god. I suppose that I would consider Scaramouche an upgrade over the Raiden Shogun puppet, or at least equivalent. And then we went to Epap, obviously enormous enemy in terms of lore. And after that, the Narwhal, that is the strongest enemy we have fought so far. And after the Narwhal, we are downgrading once again really heavily into Arlecchino. Okay.
Into a corner.
By the way, I have no problem with that whatsoever. Like, we don't need to be fighting Goku in the next... It's fine. This is completely fine. I am not saying this is a bad thing, just to be clear. But... remember, the reason we defeated the Narwhal is because Neuvillette, who is the dragon sovereign of water, was fighting with us. And now we are fighting Arlecchino with a bunch of kids. So when I say kids, I mean Lene, Lynette, and Fermine. So, yeah.
No demonstration of loyalty.
This is not to say that Arlecchino is weak. There's going to be this one fucking idiot who's going to be like, oh, you're saying Arlecchino is weak. She's the fourth Harbinger. Obviously, she's strong, but compared to the Narwhal, this is nothing.
Loyalty shall go unrewarded, and no sacrifice shall be in vain.
But yeah, very cool boss fight. Very cool design. I love her. Yeah, overall, really nice. Don't misunderstand me once again. The fact that she is significantly weaker than the Narwhal does not mean she is a weak character. She is clearly at least low god level, if not mid god level.
Behold the majesty of the rock and roll
Okay, this doesn't matter.
king of Hanamizaka!
Whatever you say. What do you know about rock and roll, bullchucker?
Then bring it on.
Oh, Paimon!
This is all garbage. Yeah. Combat events are nice, but they are meaningless most of the time. I hope we get a new... I want a new endgame in Genshin, bro. Like, combat in Genshin is so dead. Oh, we're getting the hide-and-seek event. By the way, how do you guys feel about the hide-and-seek? I really like it. Okay, nice. That's fine. Looks like a stacked patch. Like, events, I said they're garbage, but they're nice in addition to everything else. Like the Cyno lore, the Arlecchino lore, I already talked a lot in this video, so I need to wrap up. The thing I'm interested in the most is this. Cyno and Sethos. This is very interesting to me because it has a lot of implications, especially not only about Amun, but about the succession of power between the sages of Amun, the 7 sages, and the mortals. This is very interesting to me. And after that, Arlecchino is obviously very nice, but there's something else that I want to see. I want to see. I want to see if this is Scylla. Because if this is Scylla, we are in, baby. We are in. And you're gonna see what I mean in my next video. Anyway, that is pretty much all I have for now. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next time, which is very soon because I'm working on the Zhongli video as we speak. Goodbye.